All right, since everybody has a busy schedule, we'll go ahead and get, especially Dr. Cummings here, I know he's got things to do, and y'all have things to do. Get started. Welcome to the Mitchell College of Business. This is a brown bag lunch on personal finance, sponsored by what is now known as the JAG Fit Committee. My name is Chris Lawry. I am the Mitchell College of Business representative on the JAG Fit Committee. It used to be known as the Employee Wellness Initiatives Committee. Finance is considered one of the university's dimensions of health. And so since we're over here, we teach personal finance, we're trying to do our best to contribute towards the wellness of the university through educating on personal finance. We're going to sponsor a number of these, at least one a semester. We had one back in the spring on taxes. Reid's Dr. Cummings is going to talk to you a little bit about sharing financial wisdom with your wisdom or knowledge with your kids. We already have one set up for the spring, so we'll be watching for it. To be in early February on budgeting and a little bit more on money management and budgeting with Dr. Kyra Latina. He's already agreed to do that. Again, it'll be here in College of Business, not necessarily this room, but it'll probably be here in the College of Business. Please sign the attendance sheet with your name and email. I've not talked to Brian Allred yet about this, but he keeps making promises. We'll have a drawing based upon the names of people here for some JAG swag. So.
Where's that list? I can write down.
Yes. So at least I need your email, so in case you win, we have a number of things that JAG Fit Committee is that we actually have a little bit of a budget, so we bought some things from very nice mugs to duffel bags to t-shirts that are promote the JAG Fit Committee. If you not, obviously you know a little bit because you got the email, but also the JAG Fit Committee has its own website where you can, if you're involved in any other wellness activities, you can document that, and all of that can be make you eligible for drawings. At the end of every month, we have drawings based upon the amount of activity that people are involved with, wellness activities. So if you have any questions about that, I'll be available at the end. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Reid Cummings, and we'll see what he has to say.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here. So help me, I want to get to know just a little bit about, so I know you all are visiting, right, from China.
Yeah.
And how long have you been here?
About 6 months.
5 to 6 months. Oh, goodness. So why'd you come here? Just to learn and study and research and meet people?
Research.
Just to do research. Good. Good. So you told me earlier you're in the nursing
Yeah, from
department.
nursing, and I have a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old.
The other questions I was going to ask, do you have children?
Yeah,
How old are you?
18 years old.
18?
No, 18.
18.
And 5 years old.
Ah, I see. Okay, so 14. About yourself, where you?
From the pharmacology department, it's a research area.
Perfect.
And my kids are still really little, they're 7 and 4, but I'm hoping to get kind of an upper edge
I'm
on.
going to help you with that. What about you?
Well, I was going to College of Medicine with the Center for Strategic Health Innovations. And this is my son. That's student people I encourage to come with you.
Fabulous. I'm so glad you did. You're welcome. And so what are you studying?
Business marketing.
Fabulous. And where are you in your progression?
I'm a sophomore. I have about 2 years left.
Good. Well, keep at it. Keep at it. And where are you from?
Chemistry, molecular biology. I have a 7-year-old little girl.
Goodness. I'm not sure what's scarier, molecular biology or 7-year-old. I have a girl too, so I know it's 7-year-old.
Yeah.
This young man works for us. He's one of our undergraduate workers. Tell them a little bit about yourself. Just if you would.
I'm majoring in finance and accounting, so I'm a junior here. I work for Dr. Cummings for the Center for Real Estate and Economic Development. He put me in charge of our Smart Personal Finance series, so we've done kind of the same presentation for the College of Nursing. So yeah, kind of working on.
And so I told Tristan, because you've seen this before, and he looked at the title and said, no, I haven't. Actually, I just changed the title. You got to make it a little sexier when you're going to talk to adults, right? I was going to title it So you've talked to them about alcohol, tobacco, and you've talked to them about drugs, you've talked about sex. No, I can't say that. Think about it is, this is a sensitive thing. Before I go, tell me about you three. Where are you from? You're here? And where are
Yeah,
you?
we come from same university, same place.
Oh, okay, so you're visiting as well.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Scotland.
Great, great.
4 years son.
And what kind of, you have a 4-year-old son?
Yeah, I'm from China, but I'm from Fujian province. My son is 11. They started in ER business.
All right, well, good. You are Dixon? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh,
In
perfect,
Malaysia,
yes, yes. Okay, good. And how about you, sir?
Yeah.
I'm from China. I'm from Lucky now.
Well, I see that. Thing about money is, and it's a little bit about me, just quickly. So I'm in my, depending on how you count, 3rd or 4th career, right? Yana keeps telling me I'm in my 4th, but I'm in my 3rd. No, she didn't tell me. This, by the way, introduce yourself, please, Yana.
My name is Yana Stubowski.
And Yana is our center's assistant director. And all things that have to do with running the place, I go see her. Okay, so that's the thing about money is, and tell me if you agree with this or not. In one sense, money is easy to make. Right? I mean, you go to your job, you do your job, you get paid. Maybe you invest in the market and the market's good to you and you get paid. So in that sense, it's easy to make. The hard thing about money is hanging on to it. Why? Because it just falls away from us. How many right now, think about it, have spare change in a jar or a cup or a special place somewhere on your dresser at home or in your car, or maybe in a box that we go through at the end of the year, we count it all up and we buy a special. You got any of them? Anybody? How much money did you earn this year in interest on that thing of coins? How much did you earn? 0. Why?
Just sitting there.
Because it's just sitting there. And cups of coins don't pay interest. Right? See, we're adults and we know this. And yet we still collect cups of coins. Why is that? I don't know. I still do it. I should be knowing better. Right? Thing about it is, here's what got me thinking about this topic. 2 things. One, I have a daughter who's almost 23. She'll be 23 in a couple of weeks. So I've kind of learned about this topic a little bit, you might say, as I watched her kind of grow up to be just a little bit younger than you, young man, and to about the point where you are now. Right? So I knew it was a really important thing. Second thing is, my wife and I was in business a long time before I was a professor. I forgot to tell you. I was in the real estate business a long time. I won't go over all that, but I became an academic 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6. 6? Okay, 6 years. So my daughter kind of, I'm in business, was in business 30-some years. My wife was in business. So my daughter just kind of grew up, right, around us, in business, talking about business. And, you know, I never really sat her down and said, here's what I want you to know, let's talk about money. But she learned about money early on because when I would come home when she was a little girl, I had a plastic jug, and I wrote on there, Mary Chamberlain's Bank. And I'd come home and I'd jingle my pockets and I would change. But if I did, you could imagine that sound, jingle, jingle, jingle. And then as a little kid, she'd know there was money there. She'd come over and jingle my pocket, and I'd pull out change and give it to her and go to the bank. One day I pulled something out, and it was a couple of dollars. She grabbed and said, no, you don't get the dollar bills. But the point is, I tried to teach her from little, right? And her mother did too. That saving money is something you have to do. You have to think about it. You have to be deliberate. You have to be intentional. Yeah? Because nobody's going to do it for you. The second thing she learned early on is that nobody's going to manage your money like you do. Whether you manage it good or not, well or not, is another point. But you're going to think differently about your money than somebody else, right? So own those thoughts is what I'm really trying to get at. Okay? So let's just kind of move through, and what I want to show you, here's the thing. This is for dealing with students. This is to teach students. This I've used to teach the Nursing Association a month ago, students at University of Mobile, Springfield College, here. So imagine I'm talking to you as if you were college students, or maybe a little younger. What I'm really trying to do is to show you how easy it is to bring up some topics and to give you some phrases that may be helpful. Okay, so that's kind of the setup here, all right? You get it? All right. So, we're going to talk about needs and wants of retirement. Can you imagine the look on a college sophomore's face? We have one right over here. When I say, have you thought about retirement, young man? You haven't? Would you like to? Do you think you need to? You're going to before the day's over. You got to get their attention, right? And when you talk to a 21-year-old about, 22, about retirement, they go, what? Yeah, you got to talk to them about it. Because guess what? In this country, I don't know how it is in China, but in this country we have something called Social Security. And for my entire adult life, I've been told that the Social Security system is going broke. Well, guess what? It continues to do so. So if I depend on it, or worse, if my 23-year-old daughter, soon to be 23, depends on it, she's going to be making a big mistake. In this country, right? Again, I don't know how it is in China, but here, you got to think about it, because they're not going to take care of you all by yourself. So, here's again, talking to college students, let's talk about paying yourself. What you gross, what you net, what you spend, what you keep, what you invest. We're going to talk about budgeting, loan mechanics, time value of money, and then what to do with your money, assuming you have something to invest. Let me ask you a question real quick. What is your name?
David.
David. I'm going to call you a lot because you're the prime age, right? You're my target market. You're a college student. If I said to you, could you find $25 a month to invest, what would be your answer? Quick, first thing.
Yes.
Where would you get it?
From paycheck.
Paycheck. Okay. But are you spending that 25 now?
Yes.
What are you spending it on?
Probably food.
So if you eat less, you can start saying, no, just don't spend as much. Easy to find ways. I don't want you to eat less. I don't want you to eat less. All right. Let's go through it. You have to plan for big things. You know, when I was coming up, there was if you wanted to buy a house, there was basically a conventional loan or an FHA loan. In America, 20% down payment, 3.5% down payment. Then all of a sudden the world went crazy. We started loaning money to people with no down payment. How much house you want to buy? 400 grand. Terrific. What do you do? I'm an assistant manager at Radio Shack. What? What do you make? $25,000. You want to buy a $400,000 house? No problem. Come on in. We'll loan you the money. Then the world went crazy. And then it exploded. And we had the financial crisis. Right? And everything just went to nuts. It just went crazy. Now the world's back to kind of where it was 30-some years ago. Now it requires a 20% down payment again, more or less. You have to plan for that kind of thing. If you think about buying a $200,000 house and a 20% down payment, how much is that real quick? 40 grand, right? You mean I got to save $40,000 to buy a house? Well, you don't have to buy a $200,000 house, but you do have to save some money. All right, let's look at it. What do you gross? You all know this because you get paychecks. Salaries, commissions and bonuses is if you're working as a waiter or a cab driver or an Uber driver, maybe, I don't know. Right? So, students don't look at it this way a lot of times. What's the difference between a commission and a bonus? Bonus is not guaranteed, right? You might get it, you might not. Commission is if you make the deal. Yeah. So forth. Frequency matters. You know that the withholding tables in this country are based on frequency, right? So when you calculate the amount of money that the federal government, the state government, whomever, is required to take out of your respective paychecks, if you get paid weekly versus every other Friday, versus twice a month, versus monthly, like at the University of South Alabama, if you get paid weekly, they're going to take, all total, more out of your paycheck for the course of the year than they will if you get paid monthly. It's just the way the tax tables are set up. So if you have a choice, sometimes you don't, but if your employer asks you, do you want to get paid every other week or monthly? Do you have a preference? Get paid monthly. You'll end up with more money in your pocket, right? It's your money anyway. So frequency does matter. It matters in terms of withholdings, insurance, retirement, and so forth. Let's move on. So then I give them an example. I say, well, you're getting ready, again, this one is geared towards kids that are just about getting ready to graduate from college. So maybe they're thinking, maybe they've already lined up a job, maybe they're kind of dancing with somebody about a job, but for sure, they're thinking, how much is my first paycheck going to be? They're used to seeing money come out of their paychecks when they're working for, Nichols down at the Center for Real Estate and Economic Development, right, Tristan? But all of a sudden, that $10 an hour that we're paying this young man for a few hours a week, it becomes a different story when they're working full-time and that paycheck's $45,000 a year. It's a different deal. When you start showing them how much money comes out and where it goes, it really gets their attention. So let's kind of walk through it. Again, I'm showing it to them. Let's say that you're getting paid monthly. Let's say that the student is single and zero exemptions. These are, tax benefits. I won't kind of spend time on that right now. I say this is what it looks like. $45,000 divided by 12. We take out all these fun things, federal tax, Social Security. Why am I spending money on Social Security when it's probably going to be broke and not pay me back? Why? Because it's the law. I don't want to, but I have to. That's the answer to it. Why am I paying into this thing when it's not going to pay me back? Because it says so. No, it's required. It's a law. Right? And so forth, right? So what do you end up with? $2,400. Again, this is an example, but I will tell you these are pretty much close estimations in terms of what you expect, right? So $2,400 a month, and they're thinking, wait a minute, $3,750. How did I end up with $2,400? That's not fair. Well, welcome to life, young man. Welcome to life, young lady. You see, it's just you gotta open your eyes. Then I say, all right. So you made $3,750, you kept $2,400. How much is that? I'm going to only take home 65% more or less of what I made? Yes. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. And they don't have to like it, because they won't. I haven't liked it for all these years, but it's the way it is. So, how do you get ahead? Understand that that's the way it is. What do you spend money on? Again, I'm talking to students who are getting ready to not have student loans, not have a check or two from mom and dad, but they're getting ready to spend their own money to live. Right? What does that look like? What do you spend it on? These things. What's that cost? We did some budgeting and some estimation, and we're probably high or low on any given number of items, but I think they get the picture at this point. So what does it leave them with? $240. Wait a minute. Housing, utility, smartphone, food and entertainment, tuition, students. What did I miss in there? Having fun. I guess that's an entertainment. And that may be in the food bar because I don't want to eat less.
About health insurance.
What about health insurance? Oh,
Oh, it was on the other one.
How was it?
it came out. It did.
It came out.
But I mean, can you imagine the look on these students' faces when they realize that they're going to get a job making $45,000 a year, and after paying all this stuff, they're going to have about less than $250 a month? That's a shocker. And they don't like it. And they don't like it at all. But it gets their attention. Now we'll come back. I want you to remember that 240. Okay, David, I want you to remember that. We'll come back to this. All right. So then I say,
Hey, Reid,
yes.
you had a question.
Yes, sir.
I have a little question. Does the salary the veteran receive have to pay the federal tax and the state tax together?
Depends on the state in which they live. In Alabama, there's a personal income tax. It's 5%. So they pay the federal and the state. If you go to Florida or Texas, for example, there is no individual income tax, but property taxes are quite high.
Quite different.
Yeah, it just depends from state to state. Okay? So, $2,400 net, we spent $2,160. How much of that is that? It works out to be about 90%, right? I spent 90% of my paycheck. All of it. Just about. Maybe your mouth's hanging open over there. And it's getting drippier over there, too. Reality is something else, isn't it? It'll hit you in the face pretty hard, won't it? Then I talked about what is a finance charge. Finance charge is simply the total dollar cost of credit. Those interest, service charges, credit-related insurance costs. So when you hear somebody say, oh, I'm getting a 3.2% APR, annual percentage rate, well, that's great. What's your total finance charge? It's going to be somewhat higher because there's other costs and fees associated with that, right? So be aware of your total cost of money. Okay? Be aware of that total cost of money. Talk about APR, the other. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but I'll tell you what a revolving loan is. A revolving loan simply is kind of like a credit card where you have a maximum amount of money that you can spend. You spend upwards to it. The difference is what you have left that you could borrow, essentially, if you wanted to. You pay some off next month, and so that number that you can access or not access kind of floats up and down depending on how much you've already done so. All right? Revolving. Sometimes the interest rate varies. Sometimes the repayment varies. But I will tell you this, I emphasize heavily the importance of a credit score. Again, I don't know how it works in China, but in the United States, everybody has an individual credit score. No question about the fact that a credit score is going to drive the decisions that many lenders make about whether or not to extend credit to you. But you should also be aware, and this is why a credit score is so important and why you should work diligently to safeguard it. The credit score may also affect whether or not you get a job, whether or not we're going to insure your car or house. Why? Because a credit score speaks to how you handle your financial situation. Do you pay your bills on time? Do you pay more than the minimum payment? Do you pay your bills off early? All those things suggest a responsible person. Whereas you look at a credit score for somebody who's 3 months late, usually, they only pay the minimum payment, they're not very responsible. So given the choice, who am I going to hire? All things being equal. They're a responsible individual. That's what a credit score is about. And you should never let a young person think that a credit score doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because it will hamper you severely for a long period of time. Okay? So it's really important that they pay attention to that. And it's going to affect the rates that you pay too. If you've got a really low credit score, you're a high risk. So the bank's going to charge you a higher rate of interest than they will for someone who has a high credit score. And by the way, 850 is the best credit score you can get. So if you have, in around 620 right now, Chris, would you say is the number where below that it's going to be really hard to borrow money, especially for a house. So the sweet spot is somewhere over 700 to 720, 700, 725 is about right. If you get approaching 800, you've got stellar credit. There'll be people, your mailbox will be full every day with invitations for you to get deeper into debt. Isn't that wonderful? That's what credit gets you. Opportunity to have one. All right. Everybody knows what an amortizing loan is. It's simply a loan that has a fixed payment. And at the end of the payment period, if it's fully amortizing, you will owe nothing. That's what an amortizing loan is. Mortgage payments are built this way. Car payments are built this way. Even student loan payments are built this way, where there's a fixed payment, you make those payments, and at the end, it's paid off. Okay. Do that for a second. Now, here's what I'm showing that really blows your mind. Let's talk about loan mechanics. I'm sure everybody knows this. So again, I'm talking to David and his contemporaries. Let's say you borrow $100,000 at 3.99% over 30 years. Your payment is going to be, where's that little, right there? Your payment is going to be this number right here. How is that calculated? It's not rocket science. It's pretty easy. We take the $100,000 that we owe on day one, we multiply it by 3.99%, and we take that number and divide it by 12. That's the amount of interest we owe on for the first month on that money. And so I guarantee you, if you took that, multiplied it by that, and divided it by 12, you're going to get that right there. So the difference between the calculated payment, these are based on some mortgage constant factors and annuity tables. I'm not going to get into the mechanics of that. But let's just say, and assume for a second, that this is correct. And it is. We take this amount and subtract from that the interest piece. This is how much left that we owe. Can you check it? 100 grand minus 144.34 is that number. And look what happens. This number starts month 2, day 1. And I guarantee it, if you took that dollar amount right there and multiplied it by 3.99% and divided it by 12, what you're going to end up with is that number right there. Do you notice the trend?
Small.
The interest payment's getting smaller. What's happening to the principal payment? It's getting bigger,
Bigger.
right?
Yeah.
Intuitively then, this suggests that if you can find a way to reduce that amount that you owe faster, then the amount of principal portion that applies each month is going to increase quicker. And so what will happen? You'll pay that loan off sooner than the 30 years, right? I mean, that's the intuition here. So let's check it. So, here's our payment, 30 years. Oh, and by the way, gosh, this is how much we paid in interest. How much did we borrow? 100? We paid it back, plus that. That's $171,000. We just paid almost 72,000 bucks to basically control 100 grand for 30 years. 72, it was a bargain, wasn't it? Did you like your house? It was a bargain. Okay? Now, what if we could get a 15-year loan? Why is the rate lower? Notice it's at 3.2%, not 3.99%. It's because for the banker, there's less risk. Why? I'm going to get my money back in 15 years instead of 30. So I'll charge a little less, essentially. There's some other factors, but that's it. But the same calculation is occurring, but essentially, this is the calculated total payment. It's fixed. 100 grand times 3.2% equals, divided by 12 equals that number. That number subtracted from 100 is that one. We bring it over here, day 1 of month 2, and the same thing happens. How much interest are we going to pay if we pay this out over 15 years? Let's find out. $26,000. So, would you rather pay $71,000 or $26,000? Well, I'd rather pay the 26. What's the problem?
Have to have the 17,000 paid.
Precisely. So what do? Take the 30-year mortgage, and when you can afford it, pay extra. Easy. Will the bank say that's okay? Yeah, unless you've signed a loan that has a prepayment penalty, which you should never sign, ever. Why? Because the banks that make you sign it, they're taking advantage of you, and they know it. And they will tell you, if you ask them, aren't you taking advantage of me? Yes. Why? Because we can. But you can go somewhere else, and you should. Okay? Your choice, here's your money, you got to control it. You make the decisions. You're getting ready to go into debt for 100 grand. You decide you want to pay 72 or 26,000 over time. All right? So how do you kind of play with this? If you can't afford the 700 right off, but we could afford, how much was the payment we had? How much was it? We could afford 476. Right? So pay 500 precisely. So let's look and think about that for a second. What if we added on that 30-year mortgage an extra 50 bucks a month? Right? So now our payment is an additional 50, and look what happens. We went from 72,000 to 58,000. We essentially saved $24,000, excuse me, more or less, over time. And look, we paid it off. We took that 30-year mortgage and shaved it to 25 years, and it didn't cost us a dime to do this. We just, when we paid the payment, wrote on the check, add additional to principal. That's all we did. And we just say, how much? 24,000 in interest, and 5 years, we pay our house off sooner. Same kind of principle applies when you look at the, looking for the, here's what I was doing, $100 extra. And so we're still not at the 700 yet, right? We were at 476, now we're at 576, is that right? Yeah. And so we're paying what, say about $23,000 or so? Is that right? Yeah. You get where I'm going with this, right? It's not about, oh, I don't know anything about money, so I still want to, no. And how many of us, don't raise your hand, don't look at me, because I don't want to embarrass somebody. First week, 10 days after Christmas, don't even like to go to your mailbox. Why? Because all those card bills are coming in. Christmas presents for people you haven't even got to thank you know before, and yet the lender wants their money. That doesn't seem right, does it? I'm just saying. None of this is so overwhelming that people can understand. But it is confusing. When you think about money, is that, it's funny, we will ask a stranger, do these shoes look all right on me? You like this coat? You like this coat? Why would we ask a perfect stranger if our coat's all right? When we wouldn't ask somebody we don't trust. Can you explain this to me a little bit better? This is money. This is what you're dealing with. This is the way you live, and it's the way your family lives. Let's talk to the good part right here. Time value money. You've heard of this? You know what it means? For those of you who don't or haven't, quickly. If I gave you opportunity for, tell you what I'm going to give you $100. Now, I'm going to give you, you look like you're confused. I'm going to give you $100 today. Or, next week, you come back to see me, I give you 110. Who wants the 100 today? Raise your hands.
Today.
Okay, that's all right. We have two people in the room that want the 110. Now you're jumping on the train, that's no fun. But why would you, what's the answer, Chris, tell me? Because I can take that $100 today, think about the change in that cup, and I can take that $100 and invest it, and earn money on it. And maybe I can earn more so that in a week, when you offer me the 110, I've got 110 already. Here's the thing. Every second that goes by that you don't invest your money that you have available for investment, don't go into debt to invest, unless you're buying real estate. Every second that goes by that you don't earn money on your investment is a second that you won't get back. Whew, that's scary. It took me more than a couple of seconds to say it. So if you don't start, when are you going to start? I know all I did is start. I'm talking to your kids now. If you don't start saving, when will you start? My daughter, 18 years old, senior in high school, late November. Her birthday's December 11th. I remember it like it was yesterday. Why? Because she's getting ready to have another birthday here in a week or so. Taking an economics class in high school. Comes home that afternoon and says, Daddy, I'm freaking out. That's, lots of alarm. So why is that, honey? She says, well, did you know that the Social Security system's going broke? I said, I heard that. And it's alarming. I don't like it one bit. I've been paying in it for 30 years. What am I going to do? She said, I don't know, but I got to start saving for retirement. I'm freaking out. I said, okay, honey, you're 18. Actually, she wasn't yet. She was almost 18. She was about 2 weeks from her 18th birthday. And she said, well, also, did you know, what am I getting ready to say, Tristan? You know, if you invested $5,000 today at 10% versus, $4,000 tomorrow at 12%, in 5 years, that she gave me that. I said, honey, I kind of know that. I teach time value money. Oh, yeah. She started freaking out. I said, honey, look, I like the way you're thinking, but don't freak out today. 2 weeks later, birthday, 18. Mother and I take her out to dinner, our trinkets and whatever else we get. I don't remember what it was. Is it terrible that Donnie doesn't remember what he gave his daughter for his 18th birthday? But I do remember. I know what I did. That day, I opened an IRA account in her name. And on that day, I put $2,300 and some odd dollars in it. I don't remember the exact amount or why I did it that way, but I think I remember. And then, after we got back from dinner, I gave her an envelope. And in it was a check written out to her for $1 million. Well, as you can imagine, she got very excited. In fact, she got really excited. She was grabbing her phone, getting ready to text her friend, put it on Facebook, whatever they do when you get $1 million. My day, we waited for Ed McMahon to come in, Publishers Clearinghouse. I said, hold on, honey. Look at the date on the check. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to get soon be an 80-year-old $1 million. The check was written and dated. check was written on my bank account for $1 million written out to her, but it was dated 50 years from now. Ooh, that's not nice. No, it is nice. Here's why. Because on her 18th birthday, I gave my daughter an IRA account with $2,300 and some odd dollars, and I said, and on this day, the 11th of the month in January, next month, and on the 11th of the month, every month thereafter, for as long as I'm alive, and I hope it's a while, I'm gonna put $50 in that account for you. Was that like $600 a year for me? And I said, and if furthermore, when I die, if you'll continue to put $50 in there, by the time you reach 65 years of age, or at that point 68, I guess, 50 years later, you'll have $1 million. And I said, how in the world can that happen? How bad am I? Because guess what? If I invest $1 today at 10%, and they pay me tomorrow, how much do I have? $1.10. Now I can take that $1.10 and invest it at 10%. And tomorrow, they're going to pay me 11 cents more. And now I'm going to have $1.22. I'm going to invest that at 10%. See where we're going? All right? This is my point. So, David, you said you would eat less. I don't want you to eat less. But I asked students, I said, can you start investing right now? They go, oh, no. Why not? We don't have any money. I get that. But I bet I can find some for you. And they all look at all. Sure. Who likes pizza? These are students now. Everybody right now, I love pizza. Me too. I said, what's your favorite kind? Pizza Hut. I said, oh, mellow mushroom. Me, I like the heart attack special. I want the mighty meat. All of the processed food I can get. And then double the cheese too. Let's stick of the Arby's and all. What's that cost? $26.95 plus tax. And you know, when I go to Mellow Mushroom, generally I drink a couple big pitchers, cold iced tea. Plus tax, plus tip, $50 out the door. So I'm eating the pizza with a friend of mine. So we're in for $25 each. How many times a month do I do that? 3? So what if you did it twice? There's $25 a month. You eat leftover peanut butter jelly sandwiches instead of pizza. You see my point? Y'all see it. I get that. But when you're talking to people that are Christians age right now, they see for the first time that it is actually possible to, at a young age, on limited funds, save money. But the key is what?
You have to choose.
So correct. I was going to phrase it differently. I was going to say you have to start. But I think the choice is the first thing. I will not depend on others for my retirement. I will retire when I want to because I started early. Because I choose to do this. Because nobody's going to do it for me. And if I'm disciplined, and if I'm steady, I can end up with a lot of money. Let's think about it for a second. These are the things we cover. Where do you put it? I don't know these things. Why should you do it? You got to, because nobody's going to do it for you. Let's go back where we were. And we're talking to kids. You got $240 a month to invest. Remember? Remember?
Yeah.
What are we going to do with that $240? What if we put $240 a month at 10% for 50 years? How much will we get? Oh, by the way, we can get a 10% return. Where? Chris will help me out here. The S&P 500 originally was the S&P 90, I think, in 1926. Around 1949, they changed it to the S&P 500. But since around 1926, when some version of the S&P has been tracked for returns, annual rates of return, year in and year out, sometimes more, sometimes less, but on average, the S&P 500 for the last 90 years, annual return has been a little bit over 10%. 10.01, 10.02, something like that. So if you could put your money into a mutual fund or electronic traded fund that did nothing more than track the performance of the S&P 500 index over a sustained period of time, given none of the years of history, can't guarantee it'll be the same, but I will tell you in finance, past history is a fairly good indicator of future performance. Not a guarantee, but fairly good indicator. So if that's true, and if that continues to hold, that suggests that for the next 50 years, the S&P 500, some years more, some years less, should throw off about 10%. So, 50 years, $240 a month, how much did I write a check for? 144 grand. That's how much I wrote a check for over a 50-year period. We invested at 10%. How much is it worth? $1.4 million. How much is it worth?
What?
How much? At 10%, I'm investing $240 a month. How much is it worth in 50 years?
Oh, it's lost the number.
How much? They did that. We got 1.4 million over here going.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
How
Wow.
much? Wow.
Now that's how you get your kids' attention.
Wow.
You have to show them
Oh.
1 million.
that it is possible to take small amounts of money
Wow.
and with patience and a plan and intent and dedication and discipline, you can grow it to a large amount of money. And nobody got in your way. Nobody told you not to do it. Nobody told you how to do it. Nobody told you you couldn't do it. You did it. This isn't the government. This isn't your parents. This is you. This is you making a decision to be financially independent. You make that decision all by yourself. Put yourself in a position to do it. Now, can you start with 240? Maybe not. But you can start with 25. Where do you put $25 a month these days and make money? A couple of places. And they change. I'm going to give you two names of two companies. One's called Betterment. 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 They write on the board.
You got it? Want me to do it? Want me to be your translator?
Sure.
Or
So
just
what?
log?
Sure. So, and one very similar to it is one called M, as in Mary, M1 Finance. So Betterment.com, M1Finance.com. And what these companies allow you to do, they allow you to set up accounts with $0 open. They allow you to set up a monthly investment, $25 a month if you wanted to, amount. I have accounts with both of them, and I don't do it monthly, I do it weekly. So I'm gonna put up $50 a month, I say, take out $12 or $13, whatever it is a week. Why? Frequency matters. I'd rather get paid more often than less so, right? But these are ways to start. It doesn't cost anything to put your money in this account. There's no, service fee to maintain the account. They do charge a slight, very small management fee at the end of the year, but it's a good fee relative to others that are out there. I'm not saying put your money here. I'm just saying these are two that I'm familiar with. Oh, and it's M-E-N-T, not M-I-N-T, Betterment. M-E-N-T. So all I'm saying is these are two that I use. I like them. There was one called, it was owned by Capital One. It's called Share Builder. And what they allowed you to do, and they've since sold the company, but what they allowed you to do was buy pieces or dollar amounts of a security. In other words, I can't afford 100 shares of Apple because, what's the share of Apple now? $1,000, $1,100, or something like that. So 100 shares of Apple would cost me $100,000. But I can afford $500 worth. Now, at $1,000 some odd dollars, what's $500? 0.4 shares? Imagine being able to buy 0.4 shares. Well, that's what this company did. There will be a void. Now that Share Builder sold its business to E-Trade or something, there'll be a void, and I think somebody else is going to fill that void. M1 is very similar to that. All I'm getting at is it doesn't matter where you start. I don't really care. What I do care about is that you start. Make that choice and get going.
That's a question, are they, once you
no. So the way these companies work, they will ask you a series of questions. What's your age? What's your income? What's your tolerance for risk? Some people like high risk, some people don't. When do you expect to retire? How many years is that? What will you need to retire in terms of annual income when that time comes? And they'll do some calculations, and they'll say, based on the fact that you want to retire at, say, age 75, and you want $100,000 a year to spend at 100, and you're 30 now, this is what you have to save between now and then in order to have enough so that you got $100 grand a year. So that's the way it works. And so basically, it's going to depend on your age and your tolerance for risk and a lot of other factors. So based on that, they'll come and structure a portfolio for you. So you don't have to decide what to buy. It's all driven by individual investor characteristics. Makes sense? So my daughter, that account, by the way, that I opened for her all those years ago, how long ago was that? So she turns 23 on December 11th, so almost 5 years. So how much? 50 a month, 600 a year, times 5, that's 3,000, plus the 2,300 I put in here, and it's about 5,400 is what I've written checks for, right? I looked at the balance the other day, it was about 8,800. Now, granted, some of that's run up in our stock market, no doubt, but the rest of it's just compounding. So my daughter, she's in grad school up in Washington. She was here for Thanksgiving, and I said, by the way, have you looked at your account lately? No, which I found disappointing, because I'm trying so hard over here, but I keep trying. I said, that's okay, honey, I'm going to do this. Let's take a look. She was stunned. She said, that's my money? Yeah, sure. Hey, that's a lot. I said, yeah. Compounding. Is that a great thing or what? Talk to your kids about money. Talk to your grandkids about money. Talk to your nieces and nephews and brothers and sisters about money. Talk to people that have young folks that need to understand the importance of this. Talk to folks that you know that you work with that maybe have not figured out yet that you got to start. And a lot of times people don't start because they think they have to start big. That's no excuse to not start. I find that starting small works best. My wife's an interior designer, I mentioned that earlier. And she's a very creative person, but she'll flit about, get distracted. So it's Christmas time, right? And we're all cleaning up our houses and getting ready for holiday parties and so forth. And you know, she's getting, I'm trying to help her. I said, honey, here's the thing. Do one thing only. Focus on that one thing. Get that one thing done, then move to the next thing and do that one. Same thing with money. You have to be deliberate. Decide what you want, make a choice, and take action. Yeah? Questions? Happy to.
What about predatory loans?
Excuse me?
Predatory loans, like the car title
Oh, yeah.
loans and things like that.
Well, you know, those are choices. So, you know, I don't think predatory lenders are knocking on your door. But when you walk in their door, they're going to pounce on you. So you just need to understand what you're doing.
I think a lot of people don't understand.
Absolutely. No question about it.
Do they tell them
No.
how bad it's gonna be?
Why should they? They
Because
might
they'll
not.
charge like 25 or so percent, don't they?
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? It's legal. So they're, you know, you can't fault them for doing what's right under the law or what's legal under the law. Whether it's morally right, I don't know. That's another issue. But so what do you do to avoid that? Start now. Protect your credit score. And don't let somebody else manage your money because they won't manage it the way you do. Otherwise, you find yourself in a position of having no choice because your credit score is bad and you don't have any cash of going and paying 25+% for a loan somewhere. That's the alternative, and it's not a good one. So,
I have a question.
yes, sir.
You said every month put maybe $240 in this. The assumption is asking index to return 10% 1 year. We invest in this financial products. It give you 10%. This is assumption. Many years the prices go down. If you invest in China stocks, maybe
again, bear in mind what I said, that for the S&P 500, over a 90-year period, more or less, the return has averaged out to be about 10%. That is no guarantee that it'll continue to do that.
Yes.
It is a strong indicator that there's a high probability that it will. But at the same time that you decide to set a course of action in motion, don't do it and throw away the key and never look at it again. If situations on the ground change, or if the economy shifts, or your personal situation changes, I mean, you need to evaluate that and say, you know, do we need to make some adjustments? So, and by the way, I didn't make any, other than what your paycheck looks like when you take out withholdings, I didn't calculate any kind of after-tax returns, because everybody's tax situation is a little different.
I was heard a story about American history. When the first American come to United States, they buy the Manhattan Island with small money.
Yeah, $17 a square foot.
Very small money.
Yeah,
But if the annual return is 10%, until today, maybe 400 years, the money is huge.
Oh, yeah.
Huge. It can buy the whole America. So this is the power of the multi.
Compounding.
Yeah,
Compounding.
Very
Exactly.
Yes.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I hope you all have a great holiday time and enjoy your time for as long as you're here from China. Yes.
How much you buy the Manhattan?
Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Thanks, Reid. I remember a couple other things on it. Robinhood is an app that's real popular right now with especially some of the college students. So my son uses it, some of our college. This is a personal finance investing app that has free transaction costs. So it's a way to get invested in different types of securities with basically very low cost. And it's good. And then, as Dr. Cummings mentioned, you need to be keeping an eye. And this is something to think about, even for those of you, I heard some of you all have small children, you need to be checking their Social Security number on annualcreditreport.com. Because a Social Security number that is clear, you know, that's empty, doesn't have any, that's something that can be stolen by and used fraudulently to build. So you may have a 5-year-old that if somebody's got a hold of their Social Security number, they've built a fake history for them, and they may be using it for. But annualcreditreport.com is a free service. It doesn't give you the credit score, but it shows you any activity tied to your Social Security number or your children's Social Security numbers, so you can make sure people aren't using your Social Security number for something they shouldn't be. And again, they have to provide that. All three of the big credit reporting agencies have to provide you that every year for free by law. They don't have to give you the credit score. If you want the credit score, there's other ways to get it. But that's the site you go to get it for free once a year. And track it. And you should track it for your kids as well as yourself.
Yeah, and to that, I wish I had addressed this. Excellent point. It's incumbent upon you.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to make sure there are no inaccuracies or errors in your credit file. And if you find one, here's the way it works. You write the Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion. You write their credit repository a letter. Used to be you had to actually write it. Now you can go online and you can open up a dispute, whatever, account.
Dispute resolution.
And you can say, I don't agree with this piece of information. Correct me on the timing here. But by law, the repository has to correct that incorrect information if in fact it's incorrect within 60 days.
Yeah, they contact the person that has the error.
Yeah.
They have so much time to
Right,
respond.
okay, there you go.
And then if they can't provide proof that it is factually correct, then
They have to take it off.
It took me 6 months to get something off of mine, but that was about 10 or so years ago, and so things are probably a little bit faster now.
So, you could go, I'm moving to a new town, I need to rent an apartment. You go into the apartment place and you fill out a credit app and all this stuff, and 20 minutes later come and say, I'm sorry, we can't rent you an apartment. They don't tell you really why, but it's because you got a 600 credit score. Well, how is that even possible? Last time I looked, it was 750. Well, you go in there and you find out that, somebody with a name very similar to yours has been charging stuff up. I'm just saying, there are errors that will happen. So you really got to safeguard that guy.
I had $1,000 worth of bad checks written somewhere in California.